Be me, 29-year-old senior software architect, living in the heart of Silicon Valley chaos. Salary is obscene, but rent takes half of it immediately. Spend 18 hours a day staring at 3 monitors. Blue light filter glasses don't stop the migraines anymore. Diet consists of DoorDash sludge and energy drinks solely. Social life is non-existent outside of Slack channels. Dating apps are a carousel of superficiality and ghosting. Feel my soul withering away into binary codes slowly. Read philosophy books during bathroom breaks desperately. Convince myself that modern civilization is a trap. The Industrial Revolution and its consequences narrative. Obsess over primitive technology channels on YouTube nightly. Watching guys build mud huts looks like pure freedom. Start fantasizing about the off-grid lifestyle constantly. Buying land, growing potatoes, chopping wood, silence. No more Zoom meetings with middle managers named Brad. No more debugging legacy code at 3 a.m. on Saturdays. Just man and nature in perfect harmonious struggle. Decide to pull the trigger on the dream impulsively. Cash out 401k despite the massive tax penalty hitting. Sell the Tesla, the gaming rig, the designer furniture. Buy a rusted-out Ford truck and camping gear. Find an online community called the Earthbound Pact. They advertise as an intentional community in Idaho. Return to roots. Reclaim your sovereignty. Live true. Sounds like exactly what my spirit is screaming for. Pack my life into 2 duffel bags and a toolbox. Drive 14 hours straight into the mountains blindly. Signal fades to 0 as I climb the gravel roads. Arrive at the coordinates just as the sun sets. It's breathtakingly beautiful on the surface initially. Tall pines, crisp air, the smell of wood smoke. Greeted by the community leader, a guy named Silas. Beard down to his chest, eyes intense and piercing. He hugs me like a long-lost brother immediately. Tells me to leave my phone in the poison box at the gate. We disconnect to reconnect, he says profoundly. I hand it over. Feel a weight lift off my shoulders. Assigned a bunk in a rough-hewn communal cabin. No electricity, no running water, just candlelight. Meet the others. About 20 people total living here. A mix of burnt-out professionals and wandering hippies. First week is absolute euphoria and physical exhaustion. Wake up at dawn with the rooster crowing loudly. Spend days hauling river stones and clearing brush. Blisters on my hands pop and turn to cowses. Muscles ache in a way that feels honest and earned. Food is communal stew made from garden vegetables. Tastes bland, but we eat it with reverence silently. Sitting around the fire at night, listening to acoustic guitar. Silas gives speeches about the matrix of society. We nod along, feeling like the chosen few enlightened. We are building the ark for the coming collapse. I feel superior to my former self back in the city. Look at the stars and think I found paradise. But the honeymoon phase fades faster than autumn leaves. Winter is coming, and the vibe shifts imperceptibly. The work detail becomes grueling and mandatory daily. 12 hours of manual labor with 0 breaks allowed. If you stop, Silas glares with disappointment heavily. The earth doesn't rest, brother, neither do we. Notice the hierarchy forming that shouldn't exist. Silas and his inner circle don't haul rocks anymore. They spend the day planning and meditating in the big house. We eat root vegetable slop for the 3rd week straight. They smell like roasted venison and red wine sometimes. Dismiss my suspicions as city brain cynicism lingering. Try to bond with a girl named Willow in the garden. She's an ex-nurse who fled the hospital system burnout. Sweet, quiet, but always looking over her shoulder. We talk while weeding the kale patch quietly. She whispers that people who try to leave get shamed. It's not a prison, but it feels like a trap. I brush it off. Think she's just having a bad day. Then, the first snow hits hard and unforgivingly. The communal cabin is drafted and freezing at night. The wood stove is broken and smokes us out constantly. I offer to fix the stove using some scrap metal. Used to be an engineer. I understand airflow dynamics. Silas stops me. Says metal is cold and dead. Insists we fix it with clay and prayer instead. We freeze for 3 nights while the clay cracks. I catch a bad cough. Fever spikes dangerously high. Ask for medicine from the communal stockpile supply. Silas gives me a tincture of unrecognizable roots. Western medicine is poison. Trust your body's wisdom. I drink the dirt water. Get hallucinatingly sick. Willow sneaks me some hidden aspirin she smuggled in. Saves my life while I sweat through the fever dreams. Wake up weak but clear-headed for the first time. Look around the cabin. Everyone looks gaunt and pale. The noble savage aesthetic is just malnutrition now. Realize this isn't freedom. It's primitive feudalism. Decide to keep my head down and plan an exit strategy. But leaving isn't as simple as driving away anymore. My truck keys are in Silas's cabin for safekeeping, and the snow has blocked the main pass completely. We are trapped until the spring thaw comes around. Tensions rise as food stores start dwindling low. Arguments break out over potato rations violently. A guy named Mark gets accused of stealing dried fruit. Silas holds a tribunal by the fire that night. It's a public shaming session straight out of history. They force Mark to kneel in the snow for hours. Cleanse the greed from your spirit, they chant. I watch in horror. This is a cult. Undeniably. Realize I traded corporate slavery for actual slavery. At least my boss, Brad, never made me kneel in snow. Miss my ergonomic chair and central heating desperately. Miss the anonymity of the city where no one cares. Here, privacy is treated as a sin against the group. Willow finds me behind the woodpile the next day. She's shaking, says she saw Silas with the satellite phone. The hypocrite is checking stock markets while we starve. Rage builds up in my chest hotter than the fire. We need to get out before we starve or go crazy. Plotting a heist to get my truck keys back tonight. Wait until the moon is obscured by heavy clouds. Creep towards the main cabin. Snow crunching loudly. Heart pounding like a jackhammer against my ribs. Can hear laughter inside. And the smell of steak. My stomach cramps with hunger and righteous anger. Peek through the window. See Silas eating a ribeye. He's watching Netflix on an iPad propped on a skull. The absolute absurdity of it almost makes me laugh. Try the door. It's locked. Of course it is. Look for another entry. The root cellar hatch is loose. Slide into the darkness under the cabin floorboards. Crawl through dirt and spiderweb silently. Find the trapdoor leading up into the pantry area. Push it open. Enter the warm, food-filled sanctuary. Grab a handful of jerky immediately. Eat it savage. Spot the key rack by the back door. There they are. My Ford keys hanging there like a holy relic. Snatch them. Turn to leave. Floorboard creaks loud. Silas stops the movie. Who's there? He bellows. I freeze. Adrenaline floods my system completely. He walks into the kitchen holding a fire poker. I bolt for the back door. Unlock it. Burst out. Thief! Betrayer! He screams into the night air. Run towards the cabins to grab Willow quickly. The whole camp is waking up. Dogs are barking now. It's chaos. Torches lighting up in the distance. Find Willow waiting with her bag by the latrines. Run, I yell. We sprint towards the vehicle shed. Snow is knee-deep. Lungs burning like fire. Get to the truck. Pray it starts in the cold. Turn the key. Engine sputters. Dies. Silence. Come on, you piece of junk. I beg the machine. Silas and 3 goons are closing in with ropes. Turn the key again. Engine roars to life. Glorious. Throw it in reverse. Smash through the shed doors. Tires spin on the ice. Grip suddenly. We lurch. Drive blindly towards the gate. Can't see the road. Smash through the wooden barrier like an action movie. Bouncing down the mountain road in pitch blackness. Headlights flickering. Heater blasting dust and heat. We don't speak for the first hour. Just shaken. Willow starts crying. Relief and terror mixing. I grip the steering wheel until my knuckles turn white. Reach the main highway as the sun starts rising. The sight of asphalt and power lines is beautiful. Pull into the first gas station I see. Civilization. Walk inside. The fluorescent lights hurt my eyes. The clerk is a bored teenager chewing gum loudly. Pump 4, I say. My voice sounds raspy and wild. Buy 2 large coffees and 4 glazed donuts. Sit on the curb with Willow and eat in silence. The sugar hits my bloodstream like a narcotic drug. We made it, she whispers, clutching the cup tight. We drive back to the coast. Takes 2 days. Drop her off at her sister's place in Oregon. She hugs me. Never again, she says. I agree. Return to the city. My apartment is long gone. Stay in a cheap motel. Take a 2-hour hot shower. Shave the beard. Look in the mirror. See a stranger. Older. Thinner. Scars on hands. Eyes look tired. But the romanticism about nature is dead and buried. Realize the simple life is just a different struggle. A struggle with no safety net and no antibiotics. Apply for a job the next week. Mid-level dev role. Not at a startup, a boring insurance company legacy. Interviewer asks why I have a gap in my resume. Went on a sabbatical to find myself. I lie smoothly. Did you find what you were looking for? He asks. I found that I really like air conditioning, I say. He laughs, hires me. Steady 9, 2, 5. No crunch. Get a small apartment in a quiet suburb now. Buy a comfortable mattress. High thread count sheets. Appreciate the hum of the refrigerator, the miracle. Still go hiking on weekends. Strictly day trips. Bring high-tech gear, GPS, Gore-Tex, protein bars. Enjoy nature as a visitor, not a prisoner anymore. Sometimes I see guys on forums talking about escape. Society is a prison, go live in the woods. They type. I type out a warning, then delete it, sighing. Some lessons have to be learned the hard way. But for me, the gray cubicle feels like freedom. Order a pizza. Watch a sci-fi movie. Sleep soundly. Life is boring, and boring is absolutely perfect. The grass isn't greener. It's just full of ticks. Content, safe, warm. Finally home.